All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Charts are looking good. Charts are looking decent. And by decent, I mean I've got some solid thesis in mind. Hope you all are having a good morning. Hope you all are, depending on where you are in the world, it might even be afternoon or evening. But I'm just waking up. I've already got a bunch of water in me. Prepping for this afternoon workout, I think. Let's see here. Kanini, Shaky, Mustang, John, Polly, Knight. Good morning to all of you. Good to have you all back here again. If you're here right now, all 29 of you lurking in the background, come in, say hello, make sure you're liking the stream. We're about to get ready. Here we go. RD, good morning. Okay, starting out on the NASDAQ as always. We've got a few different things today that are going to be looking somewhat decent. And just a reminder that all of this stuff, you know, it's all the same stuff all the time, okay? These are the things that we're searching for. We've got the peak formations. We have breakout days. We've got first green and first red. We've got the trap trades, first red days. All of this stuff, really simple stuff. Trend trades, either up or down. On my playbook, I only have it in the down, but it's in both directions. All right, really easy, simple stuff. And whenever a market rallies to a high or rallies to a low or does whatever, and then we have levels being triggered, and then we have certain behaviors taking place. We've got over 3 or 4 weeks of breakouts. I think it was like 6 weeks of breakouts on this. In fact, I'm going to go to a higher time frame. It might be even easier to see. We had a previous week's low. It was a breakout. This is a lower low on a weekly scale. We had a week that traveled back towards the high, and then now this week breaking out, possibly breaking out and pulling back. I'm going to look for a different setup, though, just in case. We'll see. Okay, because my setup, or the setup in general, I'm not going to worry about that too much, about support and resistance. What I am going to look for is the breakout of that weekly high to fail, if it shows up, and I'm going to show you why. Okay, we've had at the beginning of the week, we've continued to go higher. We've got 3 days of longs in the market, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have had a large pump up on Tuesday, an opening range breakout to the upside, which may continue. We're still broken out of the opening range. So this could be a breakout pullback of the opening range. That's fine. The setup that I look for right now is we have a day that has opened, rallied to a high, and then closed down over here. So all of you should be typing frantically. You know, this is a first red day. We've got on the next day looking for that lower low. So there's a few different scenarios after a first red day that I like to look for. Either one, pin through the low, pop back up, consolidate, and go vertical. Option 2, doesn't touch anything. Doesn't touch the previous day's low. Pops back up, 3 legs. Makes a lower low on the day, and then the continuation down. Option 3, breakout, bottom of the box, becomes the top of the box, breakout, pullback, continuation. So out of all of these, the only scenario that I now have left with is it's broken out. Bottom of the box becomes the top of the box, and now I can look for potentially follow through. If there's follow through, this is a massive bar off of PPI. We could have everyone getting trapped down low, and then it reverses off the low, or this session becomes choppy and disgusting. This big bar down, this big move down, might actually just be the indication to do nothing. Okay. Not saying that's what I'm going to do. I'm saying that I want to be very careful because this could be a trap. Even if it's not a trap, maybe the overall market is shifting around. Maybe it's going back down. You know, they could just hold it in this range for the rest of the day, and I don't want to get caught in that. I've also seen these big ranges like this, and then all session they kind of just do something like this. They get back up here, and you're like, oh, and then it goes vertical. Okay. So I just want to be very careful. Let's go to US 30. At the very least, solid, clean thesis on this. I've only got one option. First red day. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. Let's go to US 30. Before I continue, though, I just want to remind everybody, I'm not a financial advisor. The information on this channel is provided for education and informational purposes only without express implied warranty of any kind, including words you've actually completed for this. Oh, yeah. Oh, there we go. Read through this. Great stuff. Just in case you didn't know, it says it right down there under my little head, too. All right. Not financial advice. Great. Lamore, good morning. US 30. Okay, we've got another one with 3 days of longs in the market, I think, as of today. Never mind. Triggered the low down here. Reset. 1, 2. We've gone back to the high. Okay, we've broken down. I see. Let's see here. I'm gonna go to gold, because technically they've broken out of this consolidation up high. They didn't trigger any levels. On the day, yes, they made this lower low here, so maybe we're making lower lows and lower highs. But there's no signal, unlike NASDAQ, which is, I'm looking for the setup. I'm not looking for whichever one is moving or whatever. NASDAQ has presented a little bit better. Let's take a look at gold. We had a breakout day on Monday on gold. Went into this long sideways consolidation breakout pullback that has, a breakout that has potentially failed at the low of the current week. We might have even been able to consider this as a first green day. I don't understand. I put it up there and then it just disappeared. There we go. First green day. Okay, now yesterday did not really necessarily go vertical. We did have a rally towards the high, so day 1, day 2. It is now day 3. We've had higher highs. Okay, they rallied to a higher high. My problem with this is they may have broken down. They may have made a higher high. They may have made a lower low. They even triggered a previous day's low. On the day, still making lower lows and lower highs. Is this a pump for a dump? Is this a pump for a dump? Okay. Decent thesis. I'm going to project this close across because I think it's going to become a relevant level. And I'm obviously going to make this a little bit more clean. All right, gold. We've got 5 minutes to the New York Open. All 61 of you in here, come on in, say hello. Hopefully like the stream if you're enjoying these. We got the Russell looking pretty much exactly like the US 30. And that is, again, going to tell me just to keep going. Let's go on to oil. Okay, oil, beginning of the week, we had a first green inside bar. They came down, triggered the low of the inside bar, and broke out, continued to break out and close lower. I got to tell you, I think there's still nothing I can really do on this. Joseph, hello. He said, okay. Okay. All right, so I think that between NASDAQ and gold, I should be able to do just fine, as long as there's something to present. So we got 4 minutes to the open. Let's get this bad boy up there. There we go. Now I'm going to have these up here just because I do have 4 slots and I'm only really watching 2, I think. So I'm going to put gold up here. And oil, as always. They've triggered the previous day's high on oil, which is good. I just don't have really a super solid, clean, template until we get a first green day. Now they've triggered the high. If we get a first green day or like a breakout day 1 now, maybe on the backside of the week we could get something, but I'm just gonna have to wait. Okay, how's everybody doing? Everybody feel like they know what they're looking for? Any currencies you want me to look at? Jay says, pound dollar. Let's go look at the pound dollar. Pound dollar. Yeah, so this is going to be kind of similar to US 30 and the Russell, except beginning of the week, we had the low. They've gone back to, are they back to a high or are we blue skies? Maybe triggering a previous week's level from multiple weeks ago. And then breaking down. We've got a 3 peaks at the high of the current week and a lower low. Looks good. I would have to wait for a pullback. This is a 15-minute chart. Let's see. Has it already left the station? A higher high here, which could have confirmed this is the low. So maybe they just broke the low. I'd watch out for this pen. Make sure they're not working this pen, because that was previously the low of the day. And if I were to execute this trade, I would wait for a pullback and then go back for those breakout trader stops. That's me. If it were to present, it is an up-moving market overall, but the break to the downside could be the sign of reversal. JPY. I think you meant, Joseph, I think you may have meant dollar yen. If I'm wrong, please let me know. I'll find the other one. It could be AK. It could be. 3 peaks, volume trapped up high at the high of the current week. It could be. Let's see. We had a peak formation at the high of the week, day 1. Breakout, day 2. Excuse me. Breakout, and this is day 2 of the week. But it's Wednesday. So day 1, day 2. Day 3 of the 3-day cycle. It looks like maybe there was already the breakdown, the follow through. Yes, okay, it could be. It could be a decent setup. All right, we got a lower low on pound yen. Dollar yen, excuse me. We got the higher high off PPI. It's a shame. I think this could have been a really good first bounce. Off the higher high, breakout pullback. Going back for the money. All right. All right, there's the open. I'm on a 5-minute chart. There's oil. We traded the level. US 30. And I need to get my other screen set up. You're already in the money. Heck yeah. That's what I like to hear. That is what I like to hear. Now that would be funny if US 30, the one that has not triggered levels. Yes, it closed in breakout, but did not give a signal. First red. It would be funny if US 30 was the trade. I might even chuckle. Yeah. Yep. Trying to ramp indices. Will they succeed? I don't know. Like I said, this huge down closed bar over here. And looking at a 1 minute chart, because that's really my only other option to figure out kind of where people could be caught, it's very clear to me. Very big down closed bar breakout, and then you have 1, 2 sideways, and then 3 to the low that reversed immediately. And if you actually look at the closes of all of these bars, all these large down closed bars over here, you'll notice that pretty much all of them are in this general area or kind of below. So it would be nice to see these people start being allowed to make money again. You know, this guy right now just got hooked. Now he's caught. If you project this across, look at the change in the way that price is moving. So if this is going to turn into breakout pullback and not breakout and then create some crazy ascending triangle and then go vertical back towards the high of the day, we're going to need to see some people making some money. We're going to need to see them shorts. Pretty much the same thing I say every single day over and over again is just let's wait for them to make money. Okay, I'm watching gold, watching the NASDAQ. Those are my two all. He said that S&P triggered yesterday's low. Yep, so NASDAQ has as well. That's why I'm watching this. That's why this is like it's really supposed to be my main focus, right? We've got first red day. They closed at the bottom of the day's range, fairly narrow range day. At the high of the current week, we had a breakout that fails. And then even better, you know, this happens all the time and then it turns into a trap, but we also broke out of yesterday's low, which is like a big, you know, yeehaw for me. Any strong candidates, AK, NASDAQ is my number one because of all the things that I've just listed. It meets the criteria. We'll see, though. It meets the criteria. Now, I will say, after a really, really big down closed bar, I was actually talking to a gentleman yesterday about this. Whenever you have a really big, I'm not in on anything, no. Whenever you have a really big down closed bar like this, the likelihood of a larger pullback, so if it is not going to be if it is just pulling back right now, the likelihood of it pulling back kind of far is much higher. They're going to fill a lot of this range first before rolling over. Okay, let me do this. Let's just get a decent little visual reference up here. I didn't mean to, no. Nope. I take that back. There we go. Normally 50%. I mean, that would be normal, right, Shaky? About, 50% of a range is one of the areas that the market can go back to. Where can I find your indicators on TradingView, Claudine? Unfortunately, it's not public. It's not a public indicator. It is free. All you have to do, just go on Discord, and there's an indicators section. If you can't find the indicators section, just say, hey, everybody. Don't put everybody. Don't at everyone, but would you mind tagging the indicator section so I can see it? And then either I or my mod or somebody will see it and hopefully do that for you. Or just actually, you know what? Even better. You might even just be able to do hashtag indicator. If you just do hashtag and then type in IND, it'll probably pop up for you. And then you'll be able to click on it and then hit enter and then click on the link and it'll take you there. I think that the channels, they like do this weird, what do you call it? Like they turn themselves off so people can't see them after a certain amount of time. It's like an inactive channel, so people don't, they can't see it. It's annoying. I've tried to fix it. I've tried to Google how to fix it. Whatever. Technology. No, I'm not sure, Jay. The more strongly this thing continues to run towards the high, the less that I really want to sell it. TradingView has it. Type pip. Are you sure? I don't see it, Shaky. Or is it something that I'm doing? It could be me. Honestly. For not even being 30, me and technology is just hilarious. Let's see. Passion to profit. That is not me. This is what it's supposed to be. Wow, 3,000 people. 3,000 people are enjoying this thing. That's amazing. I love that. That's what I like to see. Any news later today? I think tomorrow is the day with the late news. I think there's a 10 o'clock that's a fairly large announcement. I think tomorrow is like an 8:30, 10 o'clock news day. Forex Factory. I checked it before the session began. Yeah, so there's no late news today. Here, I'll show you all this. I think I pulled it up yesterday too, but oh my gosh, I've just changed to Windows 11. I've had Windows 10 this whole time. I've just changed to Windows 11 today. And this is all it doesn't look very different, but it's a little different. So that's what we're looking like. Tomorrow we've got this is a pretty big core retail sales. And we got 10 o'clock talking about inflation, which I'm sure that will be a mover. NASDAQ going sideways on the one. I don't think it's going sideways necessarily. No, it's currently it's breaking out. It's breaking out and making higher highs on the 1 minute. And the bars are currently trending. Also, this is an EMA breakout and also potentially trap volume, right? They've broken out of a previous day's level, gone right back up. That is wow, yesterday was first red day. Why is it going back up? I don't know. It doesn't, it really doesn't matter. It is going back up. That's all I can do with it, is hope and that it goes back down. But what would have to happen to short John? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for, see how I have these little lines here? This is where I believe that the shorts are currently trapped. They're trapped in this bar here because obviously that was the news, big down close bar. And then we have follow through continuation bars. So we have breakout bar, and then we have 1, 2, then we have a pause, and we have 3. And this is probably, and if you look to the right, that's how I know these are just 1 minute bars, but this is how I'm making that assessment, is that The close of these bars here line up very well with the close of all of these other bars, or they all are closing relatively in the same area or below, which means that that's where people are probably shorting, right? They see this maybe, a two leg to the high and a bar that's breaking out back down. Okay, I'm going to short that bar. Okay, we got some follow through. I'm going to short that bar. Okay, it's gone into consolidation. Maybe I'm going to short this bar. That's kind of what I'm saying. We have popped back up though, so I would just like to see them. Now it would be, let's trap the longs. If this is going to go down for the day, we have push 1, push 2. Maybe we get a push 3 to the high, and then a strong rollover. If we get a strong rollover, a follow through, a continuation of this, I would get in. Anything closing below in this area, I would be happy. Yeah. Hopefully that answers your question. And if it doesn't, please yell at me. In fact, the US 30 here coming in with a lower low, and they actually spiked to a higher high, 1, 2, 3. That doesn't really mean too much. It's just a 1 minute chart. But it is a little bit of strength. They've pinned down. This is the open, right? They've pinned down. This week has been phenomenal for doing this. It's not phenomenal. I really despise this behavior. And you all have heard me say it 100 times, I think. When they pin down and then they pin up, it's creating a range. They've created a range, and they can manipulate this range really, really easily. I despise when they do that. Because this is exactly what's happened on gold. Look, they've pinned low, they've pinned high, and then they've held it in between that area now for 10, 15, so 25, 30, over an hour. Over an hour. I don't want to trade that junk. Bronny, why is it that... So, Bronny G has asked, why is what is currently on the screen push 2 and not 3? How do you measure that? I think you're referring to the NASDAQ. Am I wrong, Bronny? Is this what you're asking me about? Well, just in case, sometimes this could be P1, and this leg down could be P2. So this entire leg here would be P2. And then this last drive to the low could be P3. All right. It's really impossible to know for sure. I'm just giving it my best guess. Sometimes it'll be breakout P1, 2, and 3. So I've just kind of done my best assessment, my best guess of where I believe that people are caught. Probably in P2 or 3. It's the most obvious places that people would be selling. So that's why I've done it that way. I don't know where the 3 push pattern is until the breakout in the other direction. So this case here, over here when they broke back up to the upside, I'm doing it in hindsight, which is great. That's why I like 3 pushes, because it is meant to do, it's not meant to be a, wow, there's P3 I'm going to buy, or there's P3 I'm going to sell. It's meant to be, there's the breakout in the other direction. Where was the 3 pushes? And then, can I use that information? And in this case, I think I can. And I can use that information to keep myself out of this trade, because the bars currently are continuing to put in higher lows. They're continuing to trend higher with the bars. Even on a 1 minute chart, the bars are making higher lows and then going higher. We need to break back down. Oh, over here. Again, this is just my best assessment. They broke back down over here. So, P1, P2, and then they have this bar coming back down over here. So maybe this could be P3 over here, and we have this bar coming back down. It could be P3. I don't know for sure though. Russell. Wow, gold. Maybe a little low-hanging fruit. Is the tree plentiful? I don't think I'm going to take this. No levels have been triggered. It might be the easy trade, but I'm going to stick to my gut. Sometimes it's right, sometimes it's wrong, but if I take it, even though my gut's telling me to hold out and I'm wrong, I'm going to be really sad. Not really, but you know what I mean. Of course, Bernie. And Paulie, I want you to just do me a favor, discount everything that I'm saying as far as me holding out. If you think that it's right and it's following your plan and you think that, you know, this is what you're supposed to be doing, by all means. Why don't I trade? There's a lot of volatility here on gold and indexes. I don't really necessarily need to trade anything else. You know, Bitcoin would probably be okay, but I don't know. I just don't. I think that more instruments does not exactly mean more money. It just means more things to watch, which for me has meant in the past missing trades. Missing trades that I could have caught if I would just watch less things. So like I've got I got 5 instruments and 4 slots. Now normally I'm going to try and narrow it down to 1 or 2 that I'm really truly interested in. So like for today, I've got NASDAQ and gold. That doesn't mean that I can't take trades on these. It just means that, you know, I really need to focus on the ones that I've pre-identified as better. And I do think these are better. Will it actually produce fruit? I don't know. The tree might be dead and withered. This is a pretty strong move back up. Look, we got a strong EMA breakout. Possibly volume is trapped down low. Okay. The bars have little to no overlap and are pulling in one direction. Price action. Now this is all, they're doing that in a range, which, not as good. But it could indicate that we're at least going back for the high of the day. So if I start trying to short this because I believe so strongly that I'm right, there's a very, very, very good chance that I could be wrong. Prove it to me. You know? Prove it. Right now, they haven't proved anything. All they're doing is dragging people higher and higher and higher. And this is actually, when I remember earlier, I was like, oh, you know, sometimes I see it do this, and then it comes back up here, and then it'll be like, and then it'll just blow off. This is kind of what it's doing. Kind of what it's doing. And I'd love to go back and find an example of this, because it happens. Whenever we have really, really big bars like this happens somewhat frequently. It could have actually just been the first red. That could be the first red day trade right there. We got the down move off PPI, and maybe this was the completion of the pattern. How far outside of the range did they go? I'm going to guess outside of the range, 150. How volatile is this? No, I'm going to call it 150 outside the range. Dang. Not even 100. But they did come. So this is probably what really happened was 3 levels of drop outside. We got 75 pips outside of a range. Could have been a stop hunt. We could have stop hunted outside of a previous day's range. 75 pips, 3 levels of drop, and now we're trending back towards the high. Maybe. I don't know. It kind of seems like they're putting in some work right here. Putting in some work. Mustang thinks 10 o'clock, maybe. 9:52. Zoom out. Yeah. It's a pretty strong recovery. I've got no idea. I don't either. I had so that's the thing with this, right? I had a very, very strong thesis coming in today. And it was set up well. It just needed to do a couple more things and it didn't. So, whatever. And also something else that I pointed out at the beginning. Opening range breakout pullback. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe this is a breakout pullback, stop hunt to the low, collect the pending shorts, and now we're going to go back for the money. Maybe we're going to take out the stops at the high of the day, or maybe the previous day's high of week. Market's already been in an up move. Maybe we're going to just keep going. It doesn't have to break down. Could just, again, what we were talking about yesterday, it could be prepping for tomorrow. We've got those two really big news events. Actually, there's quite a few. There's a few big news events. I already deleted it. Whatever. All of this could just be in preparation for. And if we survive the week, then we survive the week and we can go on to next week and maybe things will be better. It only takes one. I think someone said this yesterday. It only takes one really good trade in a month. And I agree. Six minutes, the new hour. Okay, look how big that down closed bar is. What is a good trade? Catching 100 pips? I would say anything more than 50. 50 is a good, a wonderful scalp. You hit 50 on size. 25 is just, whatever. But you hit a day where you hit 100 points. It's pretty darn good. Good to me, anyways. Some people would say that's not good. Whatever. The huge recovery candle on NASDAQ, yeah. It's all relative and subjective, yeah? I mean, if you hit 100 points on a micro, is it really that great? So you're saying GU? Is it showing evidence of that today, Jay? This kind of looks like maybe it's a short back to initial balance, really. I'm not saying to take that. I'm just saying in general. like for me personally, it's one of those things where the market's still making lower lows and lower highs, so we could speculate all day long that maybe we can get buys off that level. But is that a setup that I have that I take? No. The setup that I would have had to take on GU is the lower low, the pop up, the follow through, and then now we've left potentially all of this volume up high at the high of the week and broken down. So I'm not really advocating for either side, but if you forced me to look for something, it would be a short. Surely they don't put us in another range, right? No way that they pin up and pin down and then close this bar, right? There's no way. They would never do that. We got a range. We have a range with inside of a range. And now we have a range with inside of a range with inside of a range. Oh, yeah. 10 o'clock. Yeah, you're right. I think that might be... Oh my gosh, that's the biggest wasp I've ever seen. I need to get my bug killer out there. Huge room under that range. Yeah. And it might even be... This could be the breakdown, and then it just, fiddles around all day. And then tomorrow is the day that it really moves it. I don't want to use all my bullets today, and then tomorrow is the actual, just you come to the screen, it's like, oh my gosh, this is the most solid trade I've ever seen. Why did I even bother with anything else, I don't like that feeling. I'd rather just do nothing. I feel more accomplished doing nothing and going and getting a crazy workout in and feeling good and then just coming back tomorrow. I hate working out after a loss that shouldn't have been taken, and it's just like, this is miserable. I just feel stupid when that happens. I don't want to do that. Yeah, what are you all in right now? We got a lot of ranges going on. We got 3. We're coming back down. The bars are making lower lows and lower highs on gold, which is nice. We're about to see 10 o'clock in 2 minutes. Maybe a little bit of compression down here at the low. Be curious to see if it follows through or if it's a trap. But right now we've kind of just crept. We're doing a little creeper down. But if we get a breakout, I would consider this to be a first green day, potentially a trap in a trend, pump for a dump, day 3. And that is, I might be reaching with that, though. I could be reaching with that. But we'll see. I mean, it's set up for it. To be fair, it is set up for it. We've got the pins to the low. The creep down, making lower lows and lower highs. If we get a burst, it could burst down and... Pound dollar. Cool. This creep is annoying. I've been in these weeks before. I've felt these weeks before where it's like, this is the feeling. This is the emotion that tends to come through. Reverse, reverse, reverse. It's really slow and dragging, and it just pulls, and you're like, why is it not reversing? It just keeps going. Why? There's no way that we've gone up for 9 days straight and it's still not going down. We've gone up for 7 weeks and it's still not going down. Why is it not going down? That's kind of the week that we're in. It's like the thing just will not reverse. And the 3-day setups for reversals are just not playing out. They're not working. And knowing that, I'm being very cautious. Very cautious. Because those are usually the weeks that I take the most losses. There's a lot of range reversals. You know, previous days high, previous days low. They're not really breaking out, following through for more than 1 day in the opposite direction, right? So NASDAQ, they're not following through down. Gold doesn't seem to really be following through on anything. It just kind of has been manipulating the heck out of everybody earlier in the day. You know, London, Asia, and then come New York, it's like, we'll just do whatever. Just slamming price up and down all over the place. Even when it's going down, it's really just slamming price back and forth. You know, there's just no clean movement except for at weird times of the day. Nah. Oh, they did. They sure did. Look at that. They pinned down, they pinned up, they just put us back in a range at closing price. Yeah, they're still making higher highs and higher lows even on a 1 minute chart. I'm holding on. I'm holding out. You know, breakout. We're still above the 20, which I normally wouldn't even have the 20 up there, but it's a good visual reference when you have this massive range here that we're in. And we're just, look at this. I mean, look at this, right? They didn't even close any lower. They just sat here. And now we've sat on the inside of this. How long have we been in there? Oh, yeah. Look at that. I know I'm making all these stupid jokes, and it's really because we're just sitting here doing absolutely nothing because there's nothing to do. Let's see. This is what this is right here. We can even copy and paste this over here, and over here, and over here. Yep. This is what we've got going today. Looks good. Anybody coming into the stream that's never been here before is about to be like, what is this guy doing? What setup is that? What does he call that setup? It's a weird chart weird chart annotation. Oh, jeez. All right, gold. We've got some compression down into the low. No follow through. Pinned to the low again. So now we got 3 times they've pinned to the low. And it doesn't mean that they can't keep going down. It just means that I would need to wait for some sort of confirmation. And I hope that they don't just jump. I hope it doesn't just jump, 100 pips or something like that, and then it takes out this level and doesn't give me the opportunity to enter. Because if that happens, then I can't do anything about it. But if it drags these shorts all the way back down into the low and starts to follow through and those shorts give up, we might see a flush. Yeah, okay, you're going to play games. I can feel it. It's okay. All right, we've got 3 minutes and 41 seconds left on this bar. There should be no more games. If it's going to go, it's not going to pin really much at all. It should just go straight down. I'm based up on, and it's based on how much, we'll call it volume or whatever, has built up, you know, pushing down, dragging shorts. Okay, strong follow through. Looking good. Nice. I'm at break even. Really not looking for much of a retracement. I'm looking for going to completion. Let's go down and hit that where that pump has began. I've taken a little bit off. I shorted an up close candle on the 1 minute chart. They might stop me out of break even, which is fine. I really don't care. It was close. They got real close, like 2 ticks. All I have to do is pin up just a little bit, and they're going to get me. They're going to get me. No, don't get me. Just go on down. Actually, what is this level on a futures chart? I need to zoom out on my other screen. So that's where I want to take profit, is right there. Yeah. There we go. They might still stop me out. It would have been really nice to see that bar close strongly at its lows, maybe pop up just a little, and then continue to follow through. Because now I think there's a higher probability that they pin up a little bit, and when they pin up a little bit, they're going to take me out. It's not very likely that they open a second bar, go straight down. And I don't really want to get slipped. All right, I put myself 0.25 points in profit. What do you think? Do I just take it? Or do I let it go? I'm going to let it go. Why not? Why not? I think it's a good trade. If it makes it, great. I've already got paid. I've already took some off. About half the position, so if it goes, that's an extra almost 50 pips down. Yeah, I'm going to wait. I'm going to hold out. Yeah. It was too much to ask for, wasn't it? It was too much. I don't think I was greedy. I think I was just, I've protected myself well. I took some off, protected myself well. My add-ins, my entry and my add-ins were phenomenal. Not to toot my own horn here, but I played it exactly how it should have been. I'll show you all here in a second. If it goes all the way through, then if it stops me out, I'll show you all. If it doesn't stop me out, I'll show you all. It doesn't really matter, but 2 minutes and 30 seconds. We should see the completion of a pattern here. 2 minutes and 30 seconds. We broke out. We've gone sideways for a bar. Hopefully we see follow through. Hopefully we don't see it pin up very much at all. And then we just get the 2 minutes left on the bar. We're more than halfway through a 5-minute bar. Maybe we'll get the completion. Maybe they'll sling it down. Just sling it down. No, they're not slinging it down. They're not slinging it down. I'm just waiting for that one. You know how sometimes it'll just sit here like this and it'll just flick it up one good time? I feel like that could be what it's going to do. Because they were really working that low. Even sitting here on a 5-minute bar, I could just tell they're really working down into it, popping back up. They were doing it quick, real quick, right? They were slamming down, and then they've pulled back now. Could just be an emotional thing. They're going to hold it here for one bar. Maybe that goes down on the next bar. Or maybe it V-bottom reversals straight up and takes me out of break even. But either way, I really don't care at this point. But it would be cool to see. It would be very cool to see for them just to go to completion. Maybe I get lucky. I didn't get lucky. All right. Very cool. How do I... This is a 1-minute chart. You can see, so this bar was at one point all the way up here, and I short the bar. Okay, it followed through. I took some off, and then I was holding for the rest of the move. This doesn't look like much, but from here to here is another 50 pips. So I think I might have taken about 50 off this. Let me see. Yeah, it's about 50 ticks, so about 50 pips or so. On 2 cons. That's not bad. I'm good with that. No, it would have been nice to see it go all the way down here. We get over 100 ticks in one, a few minutes. That'd been sweet, but and it's still there's a very good chance it still could, but I'm good with it. What I've just done is I basically made something out of nothing. Not bad. Now, sometimes this particular setup here, and we've all seen it, where gold just comes out of the previous day's low and it doesn't stop. It just starts jumping and jumping and jumping, and you have this like crazy meltdown. And a lot of times that's kind of what this setup will do, which is why I was holding my stops tight. This is what it should do. There really shouldn't be much of a pullback. Let's see it do that. And it didn't, and that's okay. I'm good with that. In the last 100 weeks, when Tuesday and Thursday close above Monday's high, Thursday does new highs. It's an interesting observation. So maybe like an opening range breakout. Wait, when Tuesday and Thursday close above Monday's high, Thursday does new highs. Carlo, I think I'm a little. Are you talking about Tuesday, Wednesday closing above Monday's high, or are you talking about and then Thursday goes to higher highs, or are you talking about? Did you type that right, or am I just reading it wrong? You typed it wrong. Okay, so yeah, so Tuesday, Wednesday above Monday's high, so basically an opening range breakout. You're saying that most times Thursday, instead of reversing, will continue to go higher. Interesting. It's an interesting observation. So you're saying like this: Tuesday, Wednesday. Are we in the 10% right now? Only 25% of the times it close above. Yeah, that's what I kind of thought that's what you meant. No ads. Let's see. Well, now what? Are you all still in stuff? Wait, I think there was a few of you that were in pound dollar, right? Interesting. There's that pen. You're in Bitcoin? Interesting. Oh, this was like a little pump for a dump. We got a Tuesday lower low, maybe, or a break of a low. Pumps back to the high of the current week, fails, The only bad thing with this, this is a 15-minute chart. Maybe I could do it with a 5. Now with a 5, it's nice. Because we got lower lows, lower highs. Continuation, descending triangle, breakout to the low. Ooh. I would be scared. That's PPI. That's actually kind of interesting. Alrighty then. CAD high of week. Just made a lower low. Okay. Cool. All right. So for anybody who is still watching US 30 and things, we have a consolidation. We have a breakout. We have a double top, up, down, up. If this bar closes lower. Now, US 30 has not triggered any levels today, which is unfortunate. We also didn't have a signal day yesterday. I would be taking this in the middle of a range, which I think would be unfortunate. I would like to see them allow, I would really like to see them allow this guy to make money. Ultimately, I think that's the only thing that would convince me that this is the setup, or this is a trade, is if this guy made money. A very tiny bit. Maybe on different brokers. How long do we got on this? 1 second on this bar. Oh gosh. Okay. All right. It's 10:25. I might actually trade the whole session with you all. We might go to 10 or almost to 11. I've got at least 5 minutes. I need to sprint. I'm very hydrated. I'm going to sprint and come right back. All right. Speed of light. Here we go. I gotta tell you, for a free song on YouTube, this one's actually pretty good. A little bit of guitar here. All right, so I'm still watching the Russell. They've compressed down into the low, but they've closed so perfectly. I'll give it a few more minutes. If we close this bar again, maybe like 10. I'll do 10 minutes. So it's 10:30 now. We'll do 10:40. 10:40. If we don't have a setup, I'm done. I'm gonna go stare at some food, eat some food, lift a few things, squat a few things. I don't want to come back later, though, and see that there was a crazy breakout and the setup showed up, because then I'll be sad. Be like, dang, Cam. You really couldn't have just waited another 10 minutes? And then you all will just be like tomorrow, like, haha, look at this guy. Pick things up, put them down. Yeah, exactly. Did I look at oil yet? I haven't actually. I've had Russell up here for a while, and I've also, I don't know why I have silver up here, but I was watching gold. I took a trade on gold, as you know. I just really didn't think I had a setup on oil. I don't know what setup I would be taking. I think that I still really want to wait for like a first green. Like this breakout fails over the course of 2 days. We have a peak formation and a higher high. And then maybe tomorrow after first green day we get a trade. But they have lifted price. I'm just kind of seeing this. See, they started lifting from down here. And then they consolidated. And then they lift. And then they lift into the level. So now we have 1, 2, and 3. Of course, that doesn't mean that it goes back down. I'm just an observation. Trap and shift, maybe. Maybe they've got longs trapped. Maybe it's a reset to keep going down. Look at this. So this bar closes back up over here or something like that, I'm walking away, because this would be a double bottom reversal, or a double top reversal, excuse me. They put in a higher low here, so this would be like breakout pullback, and they're just still working this range, and that's garbage. I'm not. We're not playing the game, you know. I'll go fire up the Xbox if I want to play games. Holy cow. Between phone calls, and I have like 4,000 alarms set on my phone. And my wife always makes fun of me. She said, 5 o'clock every day, your alarm goes off. I don't know what it's for. I don't either. I turn it on forever ago, and I just don't ever turn it off. Maybe today's the day. Maybe today I'll turn it off. Okay, there's 10:30. What's the what is the 15 looking like? Yeah, that doesn't look like it's going down. I mean, not right now, right? It's just not, it doesn't. When you look at a chart and you say that's beautiful, that is perfect, like I just couldn't see a world where this turns into something perfect in the next 30 minutes. Someone said something about the S&P. Oh, don't do that. do that. There we go. Oh, no, not that one either. No, all the indexes are just, they're doing some work. Oh, did it just go? Got the little squeeze coming off of the close, off of yesterday's close, off of the highest close in the week. Maybe going vertical back towards previous day's high. Is this a first red day trap? All right, ladies and gentlemen. I am not taking any of this. None of this is anything that I'm used to taking. I was waiting for this to possibly break down, break out, go down, do anything other than what it's doing right now. I honestly thought this was going to be a very good setup for the day. And other factors are at play. We ended up taking gold instead. On the breakout, shorting for about 50 ticks or so, or maybe a little bit more. And then getting stopped out for the rest. The overall target being, I was trying to get back down to where possibly that pump has began back from Tuesday. And it didn't quite get there. On to better days tomorrow, hopefully. And probably into next week as well. It looks like, I think what is this, week 2 of the month? Something like that. So, I will see you all tomorrow, same time, 9:15, ready to trade, ready to go. Looking forward to it. Going into the weekend. All right, you'll have a good rest of your day. And I will see you tomorrow. Don't forget to work out, get away from the screen. Get out in the sun. See you tomorrow.